All right, let's get to our first email question of the night. This came in from Brett earlier this week for you, Matt. It was a perfect one for Ask Us Anything. Sure. Brett says, I was in a wreck where I was rear-ended by a guy that slammed to me on his own. Normally, this would be my fault, I guess, but this guy just passed me minutes earlier, and he was texting furiously and not even watching the road. Does that make this my fault too? Excellent use of the word "to" as well there.
Yeah,
easy
nice.
to yes, right.
Yeah.
So I think we've all seen that before, where somebody passes you, and then man, oh man, a couple minutes later, they're right in front of you, causing problems.
Well, sure. Yeah, listen, we all know, anyone that passed their basic driving test knows basic rules of the road is that, you know, if someone stops suddenly, you have to drive a speed and a distance behind the vehicle in front of you. If something happens to that vehicle, they have to stop suddenly, that you're able to stop without hitting them. So if you rear end a vehicle that stops, yeah, you're going to have some kind of liability. But it is true. He is kind of knocking on the door here that there may be some comparative fault, okay? It is true. You can't absolutely, just get on the highway, slam on the brakes, and you get around and say, "Oh, well, not my fault, your fault." So, so there is a discussion. So in a lot of cases, that is the case. And so what the jury is asked to do is they compare fault. That you actually, in percentages, saying, "Gosh, this person was 90, this person was 10%," those kind of things. So very, very common in a case for a jury to be asked to divvy up fault between the parties. So absolutely very common.
Matthew, something that he can take care of on his own, or probably needs to contact an attorney on this one?
Well, he can try, but what I suspect is listen, I have to tell you, settling car wreck cases, resolving car wreck cases, it's just gotten more difficult as things have gone on. It's just harder to get them, quite frankly, the insurance companies, to kind of come in and be reasonable. Let me tell you what's going on now, Kenny. What we're seeing now is in clear liability cases, not actually what he's talking about, but absolutely no question, you did nothing wrong. You're stopped at a stoplight, bam, you get hit in the back. You go to the emergency room, you have $30,000 in medical bills, they offer you $15,000. And they'll come in and they'll say, well, we've looked at the charges and we don't like some of these charges. And you're like, well, that's not my client's fault. He was hit and put in that position. But that's how they operate, and that's just what they do. So it's not legal, it's not right, and it's not fair, but it slows the claim process down. So what we're seeing is just
a lot of lowballing.
Very, very lowballing. And they're kind of playing on that. Well, if you get a lawyer, he's going to take your money, so you're going to come out, and that's actually not true. But So we'll see a lot of lowballing for sure.
Okay.